My next guest is not an embarrassment to his country, whatever that may be. He's come to us here at the spa in desperate need of follicle enhancement and for mainly poor circulation. He's that scallywag star of cold feet, James Nesbitt. Bearing gifts, all of you. That's lovely. Your voice is music to my ears, James. Now, where is that accent from? Is it a Scottish accent? Is it a Scottish accent?
It's Northern Irish.
Northern Irish. Have you found that a help or a hindrance in your work? What is your work, by the way?
This is pretty hard work, but
it's not.
No. This I'm an actor.
Not an actor. Well, a bit of a heartthrob too, by the look of you.
Do you think?
I'm told you think of yourself sometimes as a singer, or you were interested in singing.
No, I sang as a child, actually. I did. No, the first thing I ever sang, the first competition I ever did. We used to go to Butlins. Do you know what Butlins is?
A holiday camp.
It's a holiday camp. It's like a holiday camp. Fairly extreme sort of holiday camp.
Oh.
But I
more
went
like a concentration camp.
Yeah, well, I didn't want to say. But the first competition I sang in was I was in two competitions in Butlins and Mosney in Ireland. One was a picture of health competition where I was the first to be eliminated. And then I also sang in the under-6 competition. And
what did you sing?
I sang the theme to Z Cars, if you remember.
No, I don't.
It was John...
Z Cars.
How does that go?
Let's
sing a little bit of it for us.
It goes, Johnny thought he took a notion for to sail the ocean wide. That's all I remember, but But the problem with it was I won, and the prize was a free week the following year, but just for me. And we went free anyway because it was under 6, so my parents had to fork out money again to go the following year.
Who were your singing idols, Jim?
Well, I grew up sort of listening to Nat King Cole and Paul Robeson. My parents like that, but also I was into like the Undertones and Slade and the Beatles and anyone really, you know.
And you, Ivana, some Czechoslovakian singer that
Not really. I was big into Elvis Presley.
Elvis.
And Tom Jones. Hello. You would
Hello.
like that.
Good Welsh accent, that, actually.
And what about Barry Manilow? Didn't you have a thing about him?
I was actually once... this is my mother and father hearing this for the first time. I once, in a moment of madness in Bournemouth when I was 14 or 13 on holiday, I was caught pilfering a Barry Manilow album from a shop. It was embarrassing enough to be caught, but what was really embarrassing was being caught taking a Barry Manilow album.
That's not really role model behaviour that you've told me about, stealing little Barry Manilow things, but you held a position of authority at school, didn't you? In your school?
Well, I was a prefect.
You were a prefect?
Yeah. But not a great prefect, to tell you the truth. Because the prefects at my school, Corey and Inst, were voted for by pupils as well as teachers. And the teachers certainly didn't vote for me. But it was great. I mean, if someone was annoying, you could put them on detention. But I put myself on detention one time to see if the office would be stupid enough to print it up on the board. I put Nesbitt 1 hour's detention, and they always had to give a reason, and my reason was pretending to be a tractor. I mean, it's stupid, of course, which I hadn't done. But there it was, up on the board, and I had to go to detention. So it actually backfired a bit. Yeah. It was a strange school.
No, but what's lovely is you're still young, comparatively young. And, you see, if you're persecuted, some of those teachers are still alive.
Yeah.
You can get back at them. Ever thought of doing that?
No, once I remember at school, when it was on April the 1st, and it had all been arranged by the headmaster and this. We had a great flautist at school called Raymond Robinson, but Mark McKee came on to play Flight of the Bumblebee, and he obviously, Raymond Robinson was playing it off stage, so you couldn't see. So I started laughing, and before I knew it, I got the most almighty clatter from a teacher, like a real thump. And he then realised his mistake. But as I walked past him, as we left assembly that day, I said to him, "April Fool, sir." And I've wanted to go back ever since and see him and hit him, actually.
Yes, but is he still alive?
He is alive. Actually, I think he courted my sister for a while, so I better not say his name.
Because if he'd passed away, you could desecrate his grave.
I could. Yeah. Which I'd love to do.
You studied French. Do you still speak French?
Un peu. But, yeah, seulement un peu. Mais quand j'ai bu un peu, ça entre. When I've had a few drinks, it comes back.
When did you realise you were bilingual?
I worked in France when I was 16 or 17. And I loved it. I really wanted to sort of like further my French education and become a teacher, but I just, it was the whole idea of doing essays and stuff. I couldn't really bear it. So I'd been at university for a while, and I'd been working as an actor, and I was never going to college, and I was very late doing an essay on Les Mains Sales by Sartre, Dirty Hands. And the teacher told me that, he said, "Where is the essay? You're going to be marked out of 50%. And I said, "Oh, well, I've done it, but I sent it to my mother to be typed, because it has to be typed, doesn't it?" And he went, "Well, no, it doesn't. And what this now means is that you're going to have to go home tonight, find a typewriter and type it." And I went, "Oh, yeah." So I got an old girlfriend with a typewriter to do it, and I did the essay, and at 3 o'clock in the morning I finished, and I had a real sort of defining moment in my life where I thought, that's it. So I went round and woke my sister up in Belfast very courageously and said, "Can you ring Mum and Dad tomorrow and tell them I'm giving up French and I'm going to become an actor?" So.
Must have been difficult because she was in bed with the teacher.
That's...
James, I don't like to touch on your misdemeanours, but you have been a bit of a jailbird, haven't you, darling? A little bit of a jailbird. Briefly.
Very briefly, possibly one time.
A little rap over the knuckles, perhaps?
No, well, no, I wasn't a jailbird. No. But, no, I had an... Oh, dear. I had... no, there was an incident one night, there was... which I assume you're referring to, in Belfast, where I was cut short.
Caught short?
I needed to go to the toilet.
Oh.
And there was an...
Please, by the way, do you need to go now?
No, I'm fine at the minute. But,
this is very expensive upholstery here.
There was a distinct lack of toilets in that street that I was on, so... But there were a large number of oak trees, which I made my toilet, and I was caught and... taken down to the police station.
How horrible.
It was an awful moment.
Mind you, we've had another jailbird here. Jeffrey Archer was here not long ago. He spent...
It became more of a home to him, though, didn't it?
Well, he spent a little more time getting the vertical suntan, as we call it in Australia. You love Manchester United, football, yeah, Manchester United, whatever that may be. And you have said that you love David Beckham, and that if there was a world crisis that could be solved if you kissed David Beckham, you would. What crisis would that be?
Why do I say these things? Well, no, I was a big fan of his when he played for United. And, but, you know, listen, if there was a world crisis, or if there was, like, even a mini crisis, I'd kiss any United player. I adore them and worship them. And, you know, even Wayne Rooney I'd have a go at.
Well, Bossoms, on that note, let's pause a moment for reflection and join me after this brief hiatus for a little more chat with James and that long-awaited duet with K.D. Lang.